Best bank robber content is our jewelry thief guest who couldn't explain how to fucking rob a jewelry store.
I can.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we had this guy Larry Lawton on who he was like a master jewel thief. He was like tied up with a mob a little bit. I think connected. He did prison time, and his YouTube videos are very good. He tells good stories there because I think he gets his son to help him like frame up the story and maybe edit some of the like slower paced stuff out. But as a guest, he had a hard time focusing and following along. And because I asked him a very simple question, how do you rob a jewelry store? And he talked for 10 minutes, and I was like, so how do you rob a jewelry store? And he talked for like 5 minutes, and I was like, so how do you rob a jewelry store? And he talked for 10 more seconds, and I was like, stop. I still don't know how to rob a fucking jewelry store, and I don't think we're getting there anytime soon, man.
It was one of those shows.
Is it a secret?
It was one of those shows where it was like a roller coaster where in the beginning I was excited for his stories. And then it became clear that he had no conception or ability, even if he wanted to tell those stories in a concise way. And then it started going down. I'm like, oh no. And then once like he started really frustrating Kyle actively and Woody, I was like, this is way back on the ups again. And it started way going back up because like you can see in real time as Kyle's very patient with guests. And he absolutely loses his patience near the end of it.
Because here's what happens. He starts first he starts waxing philosophical out of nowhere when he's still supposed to be telling me how to rob the jewelry store, but he starts talking about how the generational gap and how this current generation is so good with their technology
and how they can program their phones right from their pockets.
This is what he's doing.
I think that programming is downloading Twitter. That's what I think.
Yeah. This fucking boomer starts bragging about how his daughter's generation, they can program a phone like that. And I'm thinking like, yeah, dude, because we've had like 8 of the sons of bitches. Like,
and it just says next, moron. Let's hit next. It sets itself up.
And he starts like waxing philosophical about that, and I'm just like, dude. Tell me about Mikey the Nose and how he'd get you the fucking codes to the safe. Right. Tell me about how like one time the guy wouldn't give you the fucking like key and you fucking punched him. And tell me how it hurt your hand. Tell me how as much his nose bled. Tell me his eyes watered up and he told you what you wanted to know. Tell me he was fucking tough and you got scared of him, but you couldn't show it. Like, tell me something.
I want to know who your luster of your
rivet me.
Who was your driver? Like, give me anything here.
Some ego, because I asked him if he ever lost a fight. He couldn't come up with a single instance in which he ever wasn't the most alpha person he'd met.
Oh gosh!
I imagine everybody loses fights in jail or prison if you're there long. Like he was in prison. Like you're there long enough, you have to be losing a fight unless you're like Mr.
I don't think everybody gets in a fight. I think it's rare.
No, but he was like gang affiliated, so like he was in the mix, right?
Was he? I didn't think so.
I thought he was like friendly with.
If I remember correctly, he was just kind of doing his own thing in there. He mostly talks about cooking in there and how like there was some rough stuff going down, but I don't remember him being gang affiliated. But it's been a while.
I probably made that up.
That's an example of.
I probably made it cooler in my memory.
Look, to be fair to Larry, like. He's an older gentleman who's lived a very long life. If he has a hard time, like stringing a story together, lickety split for us young folks, then maybe that's also our problem. Fat. Maybe we need to be a little bit more patient. Also, Taylor's a very slim man who could beat the shit out of him. All right, so Larry better step aside rather than be talking any shit to Taylor. I forgot about that. I was going to defend Larry's old ass, like, maybe different generations, this and that. But he's talked shit toward the end of the show. He can get fucked up. That's what will happen to Larry.
Set up a celebrity boxing match.
There ain't nobody.
You'll do nothing. You'll
fucking nothing. We'll fucking 3-way tag team you all night long. Like you and 2 more.
You're gonna feel like you're in prison again.
Age to you, okay?
Don't you grab some young buck?
No, don't get some prison.
I'm gonna fuck up all the biggest hitters from Prohibition. Yeah, this guy Tony Tequila Rodriguez was
That's
crazy.
White Lightning Murphy.
That's White Lightning Murphy. He could run a 40 in 9 seconds. He was the fastest white man in the NFL. He was great before we let those, athletes into the game.
What happened to Jeremy Renner?